Hi everyone, and welcome to the second day of On-Air Talks by wTVision. I'm Alex Fraser, wTVision's CTO, and I will be your host again today. We started our event yesterday with several sessions dedicated to sports productions. If you missed those sessions, just check out the live stream on our Facebook page or YouTube channel. All the sessions of our event will later be available on our website. Also remember that if you still have time to book your seat for tomorrow and guarantee access to the highlights of the day. Today, we will focus our attention on live productions. With the help of our specialists, you'll learn how wTVision's system can help productions become more entertaining for audiences. You'll also discover how to better engage your audience in esports live broadcasts and find out how to add power to any production with photorealistic virtual sets and immersive augmented reality. Remember that you can type your questions at any time, and we'll do our best to answer them all after each session. And without further ado, let's start with the first session. The esports industry is growing each year, and it has now the same popularity as other professional sports. We now see that the industry has branched out beyond streaming platforms and into live events that draw tens of thousands of dedicated fans around the world. To capitalize on this unstoppable growth, esports productions need to provide unforgettable experiences for fans. League of Legends, developed by Riot Games, is the most played PC game in the world, with more than 25 million players worldwide. It was a key factor in the explosion of esports competitions since 2009, and the reason why Riot Games contacted us 5 years ago. For the live broadcast of the League of Legends Brazilian circuit, we developed a PCR solution with our own software to automate real-time graphics and data, and implement the graphics package for live competitions, and pre- and post-match analysis. Let's listen to, Let's listen to the success story with Bruno Paredes and Fernando Svevo. Take a listen.
Hi everyone, welcome to another On-Air Talks session by wTVision. Today we welcome Bruno Paredes, wTVision's Brazilian headquarters manager, and Fernando Svevo, Riot Games broadcast manager in Brazil, to explore the potential of esports in live broadcasts. wTVision and Riot have been working together for 5 years in many countries, developing innovative PCR solutions that suit audiences and players and are in consistent and constant improvement. Hello, Bruno. Hello, Fernando. Welcome to this session. So, Bruno, maybe it's better that you start explaining a little bit the work that we are doing with Riot, so then Fernando could join in this conversation and discuss all the big issues that we are dealing together.
Great. Hi, Antonio. Hi, Fernando. Hi, everybody. It's exactly that. So wTVision in Brazil started working with Riot and directly with Fernando Svevo 5 years ago, more or less, when Riot Brazil was born. So we started the project from scratch. Me and Fernando, we know each other for a few years more, and for other projects. So we started this together. And it was a challenge for both of us, trying to push for innovation, new ideas, and try to put Riot Brazil on the map, doing new stuff, and trying to push as much as we can from technology with our partnership. But first of all, I would like to discuss or to talk a little bit about what esports is right now. What's your perspective, Fernando, about esports, which is the most growing market presently? And I would like to understand what's your perspective and Riot's perspective on the market since the beginning, your experience for the last 5 years, and what you see in the future on this market.
Well, thank you very much for inviting me for this conversation. It's always a pleasure to talk to you guys and to explore about this great market and all the projects we do together. As Bruno mentioned, we started to work together late 2014 when we were implementing civil law here in Brazil with a professional studio, with all the broadcast facilities that were traditionally used on broadcast network, etc. So it was a great journey, all of these years. And as you said, Bruno, it's still a growing market, but I think we already reached a place where when we started, we used to say, okay, traditional sports and esports, and now I think we are on the same place. I think not only for the audience, but also for the industry that understands that it's a big deal, and they cannot move the eyes from this market, and it's been innovating. It's been a great place to work, and not only the broadcast itself, but how we tackle the ways to engage the audience, and I think that is what drives this industry, and especially the work we're doing in Riot Games is focusing on our audience and our players, and looking for all the solutions that fits better for them to keep engaging with our shows. And I think this is one of the sauces for this growing and this developing market.
Exactly, and that was it. We started this partnership focusing on challenges, new stuff that we could bring together for the Riot Brazil project, driving new ideas between both parties, and try to push as much as possible from technology. So we started developing with our own solution and live on air graphic solutions, not only for the live games itself, but also for the studio shows, and try to bring as much as innovation as possible. Riot Brazil has opened the door for any new ideas, any new integrations and technologies that might think of, and on the other side, Riot also push with some new ideas, challenging us to provide new stuff. Example of that is, for example, we started with social media integration, then we tried heartbeat belts to measure the heartbeats of the players during the games, then we went for augmented reality, and now we're tracking for the studio shows, and now with some new ideas for the next season, also to try to improve. From your perspective, how was the experience up until now? What was your expectations? Did we reach the expectations? How do you see this partnership growing in the future?
I think we are always growing step by step on the projects we are doing and the way we tackle all the challenges. I think, as you mentioned, we started with basic graphics using what I would say traditional sports used to do in the past. And then we start, okay, so how can we improve what we are doing? What's the next big thing to do? And as you mentioned, we did bit rates and things like that. Some was good, some was not. We were trying. We are not scared to fail if something doesn't work perfectly as we are planning. Not on the tech side, but on how that impact the players. And then we improve for live stats with all the game's data integrated on the graphics, and then from augmented reality and all the studio tracking and everything. And for the future, I don't know. There's so many things that we wish and we want to do, and I think that's the great thing about working on an industry and in a company as Riot Games, and also with partners as wTVision, because sometimes when there's nothing on the close pipeline, we sit together and say, okay, let's find some problems to have right now. So what we can do. So and that's amazing, because sometimes comes from our team say, hey, Bruno and his team, we were thinking about this and that. We were planning stuffs like this. And also the other way around. Sometimes Bruno comes to us and say, hey, we are developing this technology, or we are thinking about this new use for this whatever. And we are always, and that's a baseline, we are always willing to try. Say, okay, let's see how it works. And sometimes it's great, sometimes, okay, this is not exactly what we were expecting from both sides. But we are always trying to find the next step, and I think that it's what makes the League of Legends broadcast something always on the edge, or pushing the bar, because we are never, I would not say happy, but comfortable 100% on what we are doing. Say, okay, can we do better? And what's best looks like, and let's find new ways to integrate graphics, let's find new ways to engage players, because at the end what we are fighting for is eyeballs, right? We are looking to keep players engaged with our shows, with our content, and we are always trying to look for new ways to do that. And without a partnership like this, when we can exchange ideas and information back and forth, that would not be possible. So for the future, I hope we can have tons of discussion, tons of testing, and potentially a lot of innovation for the players. And of course, we cannot tell everything we are doing and what we are planning. So wait to see, right? Let's create some hype.
You'll see it. The market will see it soon. Yeah, that's the interesting part of this partnership, is that esports is was not today, but it was like a white paper, a white book ready to be written, and everything was possible. The sky was the limit. And nowadays we already have a basic profile, basic stuff that we usually do, but there's nothing predefined, so everything is possible. And the interesting part on this partnership with Riot Brazil is that the challenges are almost always accepted. For example, we were the second country after the United States to integrate a huge data feed, live data feed for the games, and that drove us to work and deploy that solution on other countries where Riot also operates, like South Korea and Chile and Mexico and so on. And the idea in the future on our side is also to throw some ideas, and we have a few already being prepared for the next season together, to try to do something different and something new that will impact even more and more the market and the viewers and the players, and try to do some different things than the regular broadcast market. Yeah, that's the good thing on this esports market and this partnership, which is both sides are willing to push and to try things, even those that probably didn't work so well, but at least try it and see how it works, and then decide the next step.
Just let me add one point here, is that I think it's also really important to mention so used to have some kind of I would not say prejudice, but the industry was not aware of this whole esports industry and this quote next big thing that can be happening. And some companies as wTVision say, okay, I'm not looking this with self-entitlement that, okay, I used to work on all of these huge events on sports and whatever. They always tackle the challenges as they did or as they do on every single big sport event. So that's really, really important. And the other thing is how we learn together to work with teams that are not used to the same workflow from broadcast networks. Part of our team is not from broadcast network background or TV background. Part of the team, yes, but part of the team it's not. So they came from the game industry. So both sides had to learn how can we work and how can we create new workflows that fits for these different kinds of approach on the problem. So on a broadcast perspective, there are a lot of points that we need to run through, and it's not so easy to make people that not come from this industry to understand. And also the other way around, when people that are not from the broadcast industry, they challenges us a lot, say, okay, so why you are doing that? So can we not make it differently? And we are learning tons with that. So both sides bringing new ideas to the table, and we developed this new workflow and this way to work together. And I think that's one of the secrets to develop so many features and assets on this period.
Yeah, challenges, it's on our DNA, and for sure Riot and esports was one of the biggest challenges, because when we started, we didn't know, me, you, and the rest of the teams, we didn't know what we were doing. We are just testing, trying to see what happens, how it works, and that's a huge experience that today it's very difficult to have on other markets, on broadcast markets, of course. So that's why this partnership is so interesting, and wTVision is betting more and more on esports and these kind of projects, because it's also drive us for new things that sometimes can be applicable to other areas, to other sports or other markets, but it's like a laboratory for testing, for trying, and that's why we are so keen to work with Riot and with you guys, of course. Well, Fernando, I would like to thank you your presence and to accept our invitation. Thank you all for seeing this and watching our little discussion, and I'll take Antonio now from the studios.
Thank you, Fernando. Thank you, Bruno. As you see, in wTVision, PCR solutions are today's focus, and e-games live broadcasts are one of the most exciting trends of our industry. Hope that you've all enjoyed it. That's a wrap for another On Air Talks by wTVision. Goodbye.
Wow, thank you guys for sharing this incredible project. Joining me now on Skype from Rio de Janeiro is Bruno Paredes to take your questions from the live stream. And hi, Bruno. Welcome back.
Hi, Alex. How are you?
So I have a question from Francis, no last name. How do you get the data from all the players' performance? And I guess I read from this question, you do some sort of biometric readings off of the players. Maybe that's the question. Can you give us some insight?
Yeah, that's one of the features we have. Actually, we have used heart rate monitors belts like people use when running, for example. We use them on the players, and we get the data in real time, live feed for their heart rates. So we use them, for example, to measure and to analyze their stress level, their heart rate, actually on several different periods of the game. For example, when they are fighting against each other, how one is more nervous than the other, and so on. So this is one of the features we have.
Very nice. Also from Thomas, which software are you using to get all your data and display the graphics? So I guess that's an easy one. Bruno?
Yeah, we are using our Studio CG software, which is integrated with several third-party technologies like social media, data feeds, and so on and so on. So actually, we are using our studio, and then getting all this data, we produce the live on-air graphics with all the already true data, which is interesting for that moment, and use it live on air for the games itself, but also for the studio shows.
Okay, so we'll see a little bit more about Studio later, but in this case, I'm assuming that this is not, you're using Studio with some data collection APIs from Riot, and so not in a conventional way as a CG.
Yes, actually, as it's a software, so there's an engine beneath the game itself that measures the performance for the players and for the teams live, and we receive that feed with an API integration and use it during the live broadcasts with all that data.
Yep, good. All right, moving on. So, Catherine, since esports is a kind of sport, which it is, of course, do you need operators to collect data? So.
No, on this case we don't. So as esports, it's a game, so it's a software. So as I told you before, there's a data engine beneath the game itself that feeds us all the performance data. So there's no scouting system with human operation on top of this. So we just receive data in real time and use it on the on-air graphics. So no scouting system with human interaction, only data feeds, live data feeds.
Of course. I guess this next question might feed into that. How many operators do you need for a broadcast? So I guess not one for collecting data then. How many?
Yeah, exactly. So now we are using two operators, just two operators. One that is focused on the on-air graphics for the live matches and for the studio shows, and another one for a different workflow, which is focused on augmented reality with tracking cameras and sponsorship. So just two.
Okay, good. That's not a lot. A question from Kayo. Do you guys think there will be a larger place for broadcasting of e-games on linear TV networks? Good question. Will there be more room?
So. Yeah, I believe so. It all started with web streaming, of course, as we know, because they were discovering the market and the industry. But for example, in Brazil, since last year, regular TV, like Sport TV, closed a deal with with Riot Brazil to broadcast the most important live matches and the finals. Mm-hmm. So now in Brazil, and I see happening all around the world, regular TV is bringing the esports now for their industry and for their broadcasts. Yes, there's space, and I believe that it's going to grow a lot.
Great. So I think that's it for questions. So thanks a lot, Bruno, for chiming in. And we're going to be moving on. Thank you, and bye-bye. All right, moving on. In the command center of this project, and as I mentioned before, was our own software, Studio CG. Studio CG is a powerful integrated solution that allows broadcasters to manage and control on-air graphics and videos from one single interface for newscasts and live studio shows. José Pereira, our head of development for PCR products, will do a brief demonstration of how this works. If you have any questions, type them wherever you're watching this, and we'll do our best to answer them later. Let's watch.
Hi, my name is José Pereira. Welcome to Studio CG Demo. It's all about helping you to be more productive in your live broadcasts. During this session, I will explain to you how wTVision solutions can improve your channel. We will talk about playing out graphics and video, how to use MEM system, and we will also explain how journalists can produce their rundowns, and finally, how to burn graphics in your non-linear editing stations. This is Studio CG V5. Studio CG is a both graphics controller application as well as a video player controller, allowing you to produce a live program from a single application with an integrated front end. Studio CG can control all the major graphics vendors in the market, including VizRT, Render Engine, Avid's Maestro, and ROS Expression, and wTVision own R3 Space Engine. This demo is running with the R3 Space Engine, but the UI and the functionality of the application is unchanged regardless of which underlying engine you choose to control. Studio CG also controls some of the most important video servers in the market, and likewise also works with wTVision own media playout server. This demo is running in this configuration. When used together, R3 Space Engine and Media Playout Server have an option to composite both video and graphics and produce a single output containing both video and graphics, as well as any live sources that may be used during the broadcast. However, if you want more fine-grained control, you can output fill and key graphics independently and have a third independent video output and then mix these signals in an external production switcher. Studio CG can also control this switcher for live source selection. Okay, let's take a look at the interface. We are looking at Studio CG loaded with a demo show. On the left side of the screen, we have the show's rundown. Line items can be video clips, graphics, or actions, like actions to control video or audio mixers. You can have a mix of video and graphics or use Studio for just one of the workflows according to your needs. Graphics are decorated by the orange color on the left, and video clips have this light blue color. Each line in the rundown refers to an individual graphic or video you want to bring on air. Studio CG, one operator can control multiple outputs. As you see, I can fire a graphic to the main output and another one to the video wall. I can add the graphic to the rundown simply by dragging the graphic template anywhere in the rundown. If the graphic doesn't have the default output, the operator chooses the correct one. Otherwise, no action is needed. Before the graphic goes on air, operators can preview inside the application the output based on a preview frame generated by the preview engine. I can select another graphic and have the preview from the graphic, like this. But it can also send the same preview image to the director through another signal shown in the mixer. After the director's approval, with one simple click, we can send the graphic directly from preview to program. On the right side, there is the graphic template manager that represents all the graphics imported to the current show format. So this can be reused daily and represents all the show look. Your output signal can have multiple screen areas, so you can have multiple graphics on air. Easily, you can configure once for each area your graphic belongs. Just with a simple visual configuration, you can define the coexistence of multiple graphics on air. wTVision creates a mechanism called IntelliFlow to manage on-air graphics. First, we can fire a graphic and then the live graphic. Because they are in different screen areas, they will be at the same time on air. Now, if I fire the over-the-shoulder graphic, this one is in the different screen area, but is over the live area, so live will be automatically removed. But in this configuration, I can permit both areas to be on air at the same time with a simple drag. I came here to the region manager, and I just need to move the live. Let me remove all graphics from on air with just one click. Now I will repeat the process: fire lead, then the over the shoulders, and then the live. And the three graphics are on air. IntelliFlow has much more default behaviors, but if the designer creates some change animation, you can switch your data without removing the graphic from on air. I will fire the lower third. Like we can see, playing two lower thirds, creating animation with specific names, no configuration will be needed. When importing new graphics to your project, any IntelliFlow will know how to manage that. On the right side, there is also a MUM media source representing all the available videos in this machine or in the network that may be searched and sequenced for the playout. In this case, we are showing an integration with wTVision Media Asset Manager version 2, but other MUM integrations will be similar. Now I can search for a video in the search bar and drag it to the timeline like this. After added to the rundown, if that video is not present on this machine, it will trigger a transfer request that will turn in get fulfilled by the wTVision media agent that lives on each machine of the network machines, including the one we are on. This will be get activated automatically by a continuously running media checker, as you can see by the spinning widget in the rundown. As soon as it reaches the video clip, it finds that it's not available locally and asks to the MUM for a transfer request to this location. We can see the system go through the various request stages and progress of the transfer before becoming ready from on air. As you can see, this process is completely automated, and so the user doesn't have to worry about anything to have the content played out. This also applies to verification of file formats and other inconsistencies, which in this case produce errors that must be manually dealt with. We will show you how StudioCG works in a newsroom environment by integrating with the existing newsroom control systems, or NRCS. NRCS provides journalists with tools to organize and create content for a newscast or other program. In this session, we'll focus on Avida News, but StudioCG is fully MOS compliant also with Avid Media Central, NPS, or SNews. After installing wTVision Studio Reporter, journalists can see this plugin and list all the graphics prepared in StudioCG and all available videos in wTVision Media Manager, and can easily drag them to their rundown to complement their stories, like this. Journalists can mix text, graphics, and videos in their stories. The same forms prepared on Studio will be available on this plugin. It is possible to preview the graphic exactly as it goes on air. Videos can also be previewed with the low-res version. To increase this automation in this step, we can grab one or more graphics to the video and select the time in and the timeout from each one. After publishing their rundown, the operators will receive the content. Now I just need to save the rundown, and automatically I have the rundown here in StudioCG. Now this show structure is identical to what you have in the newsroom system. It can be iNews, NPS, or any other. With just one click, we can take on air graphics or play videos selected by the journalists. The journalists grab graphics to the videos, the operator just needs to play the video, and the graphics will be fired automatically, as you can see now. All the last minute's updates made in the rundown will be automatically reflected in StudioCG. Like you can see, I can drag a graphic to another story, and another one to other story. And if I save, the data are automatically updated in StudioCG. Coming back to graphics, now let's see a more complex graphic like standings. We will need a data form to fill our classification data, because it's the first time we are using this template Studio will automatically look at all the exported variables from the template, which we call tags, and try to create a form that is pre-organized based on the tag names. So we immediately see two sections in this form. There are 4 fields on the top and then this tabular-looking section below. This was created automatically based on the fact that these tags have a similar structure and have numeric suffix in their name. Automatically generated form, this looks almost complete, but we will note that it still needs some more work. Let's edit the form and tweak a little bit. These form changes will be automatically reflected in all systems like wTVision, as in iNews plugin or NLE application that we will see next. Another important feature in the wTVision application is the ability to run script. This allows to extend wTVision features, controlling your peripherals or importing external data. I already prepared another standings graphic which is used in the French project. The project imports data from stats feed. I came here, I drag the graphic, select my output. So the users just need to select the league, the season, and the data will be automatically filled. Also, this important feature is applied to iNews and NLE system, saving time to journalists creating their rundowns. Now, we will show you how wTVision integrates with your nonlinear editor workflow. Currently available for Adobe Premiere, Avid Media Composer, and others, our NLE Studio Editor gives you access to your on-air graphics library and lets you apply graphics onto videos clips. For example, editors can connect to the server, choose and fill in the template they want to be automatically generated an animation template. All of this in real time. This NLE plugin supports complex animation sequence using IntelliFlow and NLE editor. You may define each animation duration for an incredible control of the output. With NLE plugin, we can also import sports data like leagues tables and rankings, as you can see next. So let me choose the graphic. Here, drag it. Press header. I can fill my data. Here, my studio demo. And then I can start rendering. I can also preview my data in the small image here. So now the sequence is prepared and I can drag it to my video. So if I play here and have, so now I can burn my graphic. As you can see, I can select the graphic and select my initial parameters. Come here, I add, remove the other one, I don't need it now. I can set my duration from the animation, and now I will fill the initial parameters. I can preview it here before rendering, and now I will start rendering. The editor saves time filling all the data because we are using the same mechanism to import data like wTVision. Now the animation is completed and I can drag it to my project. As you can see, now I can burn my video with animation and all the content that is automatically filled. wTVsion also provides the ability to be controlled in any mobile device or tablet. I hope you have enjoyed. Thank you.
So, as you can see with the previous two sessions, our studio solution makes it easy to manage your production workflow for news, sports, financial, and entertainment shows. José didn't mention it during the demo, but Studio CG can also moderate social media content and display it during any live show in real time due to its integration with FlowX. The solution can be entirely operated via a web browser and allows monitoring content on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Twitch, and WhatsApp. José Pereira, directly from home, will help me answer your questions. Hi, José, and welcome.
Hi, how are you?
I'm all right, thank you. So, question from the live stream from Fernando. Can I use augmented reality through Studio? I guess we'll see that a little bit later, but why don't you answer?
Yes, you can use it. It's like any other graphic. You can use it in a create a different channel and send to that channel the augmented reality graphics. So it's not a problem.
Okay, good. So I guess Studio manages multiple outputs simultaneously. There is going to be a show specifically on virtual reality, on augmented reality, so I think we'll save that for then. So let me move on to Lucia. Is there a limit for the peripherals Studio CG can control? Is there a limit, José?
No, there is no limit. You can control graphic engines, video servers, routers, audio mixers, upstream and downstream hardware, GPI hardware, so it's not a limit.
Okay, good. So at least we haven't found one yet, right?
Yeah.
A question from Anthony. How much does it cost? Do I pay more if I want to integrate with my newsroom system? So I don't think we're equipped to answer that question. It is a modular system, so I guess you will pay more if you want to integrate with your newsroom system. So the answer to the second part is yes. There is a plugin for each newsroom we support. For finding out how much it does cost, why don't you go over to our website at wtvision.com/contact us and fill in the form, and we'll be glad to get back to you on the cost question. I have another question from Rodrigo on the plugin for the Adobe Premiere. Can I change the duration of a graphic after inserting it on the timeline? So, very technical question. José?
Yes, it is possible. So easily you can drag it and manage the time in and time out, the duration from the graphic on air. That's not a problem.
Good. So the answer is simple yes, even though. All right. I think that's it for questions. So thank you very much, José, and have a good day. All right. So if you wanna learn more about Studio CG, require a demo, or want to understand if your solution fits your project's needs, you can go to our website and fill in the contact form, and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. Let's move on. Broadcasters are constantly in the pursuit of different and innovative ways to entertain and inform viewers while setting themselves apart from competition. The use of augmented reality in live broadcasts, for example, is a cost-effective way to elevate the production value while providing the audience with meaningful information. Creating photorealistic virtual sets makes it possible to showcase content in more effective ways, adding visual impact to elections, sports and entertainment shows, or other live broadcast productions. This production studio is the perfect example of that. Due to the integration of the Unreal Engine with our R3 Space engine, we can generate immersive virtual sets and take our audience to unexpected places. Let's see how this works in a demonstration I did earlier with our program manager for PCR and MCR, Pedro Duarte. Take a listen. Hi, and welcome to this On-Air Talks session titled The Power of Photorealistic Virtual Sets on Live Productions.
Hello, my name is Pedro Duarte and I'm Program Manager for PCR and MCR products at wTVision. Together we will show you how you can make your next show using Unreal Engine and wTVision's own R3 Space Engine. We will start by giving you a brief overview of wTVision's virtual set stack of composite signals and chroma keys and explain how augmented reality can fit nicely into a virtual reality workflow.
We will also show you our controller's integration with Unreal Engine and how that allows us to do more with a virtual set than is traditionally done, and how that can be merged nicely into your show's rundown and be controlled without having to break the bank with extra equipment and operators.
This will lead us into talking about wTVision's Studio CG video and graphics controller, which will be the command center of all we are doing here today, both in virtual set graphics, augmented reality graphics, as well as driving all inputs and clip layouts in this and every other On-Air Talks presentation.
We will take a brief look at what it looks like to be able to do this from a unified rundown and how quickly you can transition into your next show using this tech stack. We will also dive a little bit deeper into this studio we are standing in and give you a tour of the place to help you see how you may want to set up your next green screen cyclorama with robotic cameras and jump into the virtual set train yourself.
We will also show you some examples of virtual sets we have used in production so you can see the type of outputs to expect from a system like this. So let's get started.
Let's go. So let's start by telling you what makes up wTVision's virtual set stack of technology components. In the very back, we are standing in a green screen cyclorama. And we have a set of 4 cameras that sit or hang on either a robotic pan tilt head, or in the case of our main camera, hanging from the ceiling in an elevator pedestal that is riding an inverted dolly that gives us a nice range for our director to frame his shot and plan his camera motion. In our small set, which is just a room in our main office in Lisbon, Portugal, we are using Blackmagic cameras with Canon lenses and Telemetrics robotics. But as you may have guessed, the specific brands of cameras, lenses, and either robotics or tracked heads you end up choosing for your setup should be just fine for setting up a system like this. There are several industry-standing tracking protocols, and we will support those. Lens distortion information is also created to a specific brand and model of a lens, but also for each specific lens you have in your studio. That will make it graphics tie perfectly with your real assets on the set, such as this podium or even me and Pedro.
Moving on. In the background, you will see a studio rendered in Unreal Engine. The sets can be designed in your favorite 3D modeling package and imported directly to Unreal Engine. You then add a wTVision plugin component into your scene to allow the system to move the camera as the real camera moves, and also to allow you to manipulate the scene from wTVision's controllers.
This gives us the virtual set. Now, to mix in the live presenters, let's not call them talent in this presentation as it wouldn't be very accurate, we have a downstream chroma keyer that takes a few outputs from the system and mixes everything together into one final composite. In our studio, we are using Ultimat 12 chroma keyers from Blackmagic, and these can take a camera feed, a garbage mat, fill-in key graphics, and a background, and we are feeding all these signals from a single machine. The way we do this is with a synchronized second engine, this time the R3 Space Engine from wTVision.
Well, now R3 is designed for on-air graphics workflows, and so it's very agile to taking graphics in and out, transitioning between them using our own IntelliFlow, and this is what you need for displaying the information you want to convey as on-air graphics. This time, however, you may do so in augmented reality. R3 Space Engine takes the same tracking information as Unreal Engine and provides a dynamic layer to your virtual set project that can be linked to your newsroom system or simply to Studio CG for an easy operation.
Now, Studio CG is the control application to manage this workflow, and we will see how that is done in a moment. Finally, the stack is repeated per camera we have in the studio, so in the control room, you're able to direct your show with all cameras fully backed by VR and AR graphics. Each output of camera stack operates as a camera in your switcher, so you operate normally as if you are in a real studio set.
Well, some of the things that this setup allows you to do is to control your set as if it were any other on-air graphic. We can move objects in the Unreal Engine's layer, change their properties, including text, colors, and textures. These are transparently made available to the on-air graphic scenes, and so you can combine background and foreground information simultaneously in a fully integrated way.
We can also bring in live inputs into Unreal Engine to conduct interviews or do live reporting,
as you can see. Or, in this case, we can also have wTVision's media server that is a part of this stack to be able to play out your show's video clips. Let's roll one of those now to show you how the system is being operated in the control room.
The set itself may be used to complement your CG information, such as using a large panoramic screen in an over-the-shoulder of sorts.
And you also can use other space on your virtual set to do some Skype call if you want with outside guests. Hi.
Hi, Daniela. Now, at the start of this session, we showed you a view from a virtual camera that is also a part of this room's setup. It is a fourth fixed camera sitting right there that allows for much more dynamic camera moves and virtually increase the size of the set by as much as you want.
Using the real tracked cameras with this billboarding effect, I can combine both for maximum effect. Let me ask our control room operator to switch off the chroma key effect so we can see what that looks like now. So, the chroma key in this case is being done inside Unreal Engine and controlled through a wTVision chroma picker tool.
So, how do we control all this stuff? It's easy. We use our PCR controller called Studio CG. Studio CG manages multiple engines at the same time and can also control different vendors' engines such as VizRT, Avid, and ROS engines. In the setup, we have several R3 Space Engine channels running. The controller application has a tied-to-the-screen engine for lower thirds and a second engine for full-screen graphics. Those go into mixers, SDK, and allow me to show name straps like these you see in front of me now.
The full-screen graphics go to a separate output, and I can route that to an Unreal Engine's input, so it shows in the back there. As you see, these outputs are identified in interface, but the operator only needs to select a rundown item and take it to air. It will show up in the right engine automatically.
If I open Output Manager in Studio, you can see the outputs being managed by this single controller. There's a preview engine, a normal screen or 2D engine for on-air graphics, a full-screen engine, and a 3-engine set as part of a composite group. Any graphic sent to this group gets sent to all engines automatically. Now these engines have tracking enabled, so let's call up an AR graphic in my rundown.
Well, as Alex edits the controls form that corresponds to the data being displayed, he can change the values and save his graphic page. By taking it to air, we can see it's using the pose information from the robotics to stay tied to the set. Let's move the master camera and see how that looks. I will ask our director to switch between the cameras that we have. As you can see, the result is a realistic AR graphic that is being shown in all cameras and perspectives.
Besides the AR graphics, let me show you something in the background as well. I will launch this graphic. Now, this graphic doesn't have any foreground information, but instead shows the information in the giant screen in the background. This is being done solely in Unreal Engine, but to the operator, it's the exact same experience as if we were calling a lower third graphic.
So now, to keep costs down, we decided for our office PCR that we will not have camera operators and opted for a fully robotic system. This allows me to make predefined camera moves that may rehearse to transition nicely between segments, adding this premium feel to my show.
As we mentioned previously, a single Studio CG controller manages all 3 camera channels, the screen space overlay CG engine, a preview engine, and the clip player, meaning a total of 8 graphic engine channels or discrete engines, and in this case a single media server in a simple, unified, single operator interface. That is not to say that these tasks cannot be spread out in your control room to better separate responsibilities and concerns during your show. And for example, have an operator for the set controls, an operator for the CG, and a third operator for clip playback, for example. This is just to demonstrate the power of Studio as an integrated controller.
Now, if you want to try to do more with a single operator, it's likely that you will have to move the editing responsibilities of your CG operator to journalists upstream and have them prepare their own graphics both for their pre-recorded stories as well for the live inserts in this show. For this, Studio integrates well with MOS-enabled workflows and has plugins for most major newsroom computer systems such as NPS, iNews, and others. We dive more deeply into this workflow in a dedicated Studio CG on-air talk by José Pereira, Studio CG Technical Product Manager.
Let's end this presentation by showing you some Studio work in real virtual and augmented reality settings so you can better understand what's possible with this solution.
That's what we have for you in this talk. Thanks so much for watching, and don't forget to check out our other sessions on Studio CG, Channel Maker, our sports offerings, and much more.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. And we're back to answer your questions on the live stream. Pedro, let's take it away.
Hi, Alex. Hi, everybody. So we have the first question from Paul, an interesting question. So, Alex, can you explain how you easily change the set during a broadcast? How long will it take it to change?
Yes, that is a very interesting question. It actually does not take very long to change between sets if you're running shows back-to-back on one chroma key cyclorama. So it should take 10, 15, 20 seconds. And there's actually an option where you could do shows back-to-back without actually taking down the system. So in fact, we're going to be talking about Unreal Engine games, quote unquote. So each studio is going to be a game, and you can just shut it down and pick it back up, and it will just start tracking immediately. One thing you could do is take advantage of the fact that there are multiple cameras in your set, and while you're looking at one camera, you could switch both of the other cameras to the new show, and then just by switching to one of those cameras, then you can switch the one that is left back, and you could actually do shows back to back with no commercial breaks. So
okay.
Great question.
Yes, very good question.
And also,
we have more questions.
Omar, yeah. Can you integrate an existing design concept? I guess.
I hope this is a question where someone has a concept already designed in some modeling, and probably we'll have to import that modeling to our engine, and with Unreal Engine we will get there, right?
So I guess in a way this is the recommended way to work with our solution. So you would first design it in whatever package you're used to, 3D,
in your 3D,
yeah. Cinema 4D.
And then we import.
And then you import that into Unreal Engine, yes. Add some dynamism to the assets. Maybe you want to change some stuff around, some animations, which you then want to control using Studio.
Yes.
And then you can still add, I guess, foreground AR using wTVision's design tool, and it all comes together. So in a way, it is the recommended way to operate to integrate an existing design concept, or at least start designing using your favorite 3D package.
All right.
All right, I think that's it for the live stream questions. So, and that's all we have for you today. Thank you for joining us. We'll be back tomorrow at 2 p.m. GMT for the last day of On Air Talks by wTVision. Tomorrow, we'll be talking about playout automation and remote control, IP virtualization, and how to build a channel with these technologies. Go to our website, book your seat, and you'll have access to exclusive content. Also, keep in mind that all the sessions of our event will be available on our website, YouTube channel, and Facebook page. Use our website also to contact us and subscribe to our newsletter. See you tomorrow, and have a nice day. Bye-bye.